Exceed and Excel has been a great influence on the thoroughbred breed, both in Australia and overseas, and his sire sons are continuing that legacy, both the proven ones and those who are just emerging. Owner Joe Stampy is confident Signore Fox will add to that list, and when you see his outstanding race record and sensational physique, you'll understand why. Oscar, it's an exciting time for Almavale Thoroughbreds. Of course, Vernon Metcalf, yourself, great team of people there. Of course, the stallions are based at Kitchwin Hills, but Almavale is kind of a reinvention, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really exciting times. We've acquired a lovely group of mares at the sales recently, and we're going to have Facile back in work soon, actually here at Snowden Stable, so there's a lot to look forward to this spring.
Well, as you say, here at the Snowden Racing Stable, and Pete Snowden trained this horse, Signore Fox, that we're profiling today, a racehorse who earned $1 million. You know, he's such a special horse to win 4 stakes races.
He's a very special horse. I think the fact that he actually had 42 starts and raced on is a huge, huge positive. For a horse to be that sound and turn up every Saturday, being a group performer week in, week out, I think that says a lot about the horse.
And it's pretty rare, a 9-year-old now, having his first season at stud at a commercial farm. He covered a number of mares last season on retirement from racing, but he is that older horse. And again, he's really let down into a beautiful sort of, literally a bull of a stallion.
He is really let down into a lovely horse. I think people would be very impressed when they come and see him. At that value service fee price, I think why not roll the dice on him? He's got the perfect profile. His pedigree is obviously speaks for itself. There's Group 1 winners right down the page, and he's very, very unlucky not to be one himself.
But Signore Fox has raced up and gone to the lead.
Well, looking at his racing performance, he went through his grades as a 3-year-old with a number of wins. His first stakes win was in 2019 at Eagle Farm in the Daybreak Lover. Then that summer he took out the Razor Sharp Stakes at Randwick, came back the middle of 2020 to win the hugely competitive Ramornie at Grafton. I mean, these are all really tough races, and I guess his racing style, when things worked, he could show that electric turn of foot.
Obviously he was very precocious of the races you've just listed off, but obviously the way he did race, he got back and he had to ride for a bit of luck sometimes, but that turn of foot, if you look up those sectionals, they're up there with some of the best sprinters in the land.
He won the Group 3 Star Kingdom Stakes, and a lot of stallions succeed having won group races but not quite getting that Group 1, don't they?
Yeah, well, he's very similar profile to a horse like I'm Invincible. A Group 3 winner who's Group 1 performed, another horse who's obviously started at a very modest service fee and gone and really taken over the breeding world. And
you have to remember, as you say, he was Group 1 class. He was beaten less than a length by Vega 1 in the Kingsford Smith Stakes and by Tofane in the Stradbroke. So, without a doubt, he really should have been a Group 1 winner.
They are 2 very, very good horses. I think, can't remember what Tofane made, but it was a couple of $1 million as a broodmare. She was a top-class sprinter and he only just missed her, so as you say, he was a Group 1 horse every day of the week.
So racing against Eduardo, Palele, all those horses, so close to them, they're the best sprinters in the world.
It's very, very hard to do. For him to race on 42 starts is a lot for any horse, let alone a colt, but it's very, very hard to do.
Probably my fondest memory of him was when we got him. He's a magnificent type. Real athlete, great attitude, had a colt presence about him, but a really good nature about him. So we liked him from day one, and he had a great racing life too. Very honest, very genuine, never ever on a bad race.
He was a real racehorse. He wanted to win. He, had the issue he'd get back in his races, so obviously needed luck. But when he got through, he had that turn of foot, but he'd pin the ears back. It looks like he enjoyed his racing.
And J Mac had a good rapport with him. I think he rode him 6 times and won 5 out of 6. But he said he had a lethal turn of foot on good ground. He said he would win anywhere, and that's why he stuck with him as long as he did.
Yeah, and a horse like that races over a 4-year period, he won 4 stakes races, he's a group winner. Those sorts of horses, when they retire to stud, they tend to throw that toughness into their stock too.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if he doesn't, because he's such an athlete. He was very, very strong, a big, powerful hindquarter. As I said, they're good temperaments, a big plus as well, going into his progeny. But the consistency too, that's a big thing, and he was always that.
And mare owners, we're talking about a breed to race type horse, a $5,000 service fee. What would you say to them about giving this horse a go? Because it's tough at the top end of the commercial sphere, but you can still breed a really good racehorse for that.
I could rattle off 20 horses started for $5 grand. One of them was Commands. He started off with do your best, anything. And Costa del Lago, he was the same. There's a lot of horses start off small, and this horse could be just that horse. He's got a good pedigree, as I said. The Seeding Cell colt, multiple winners, multiple stakes winner. A lot going for him, Group 1 placed, so there's a lot of upside with him, and for not much outlay now, I'd be jumping in now.
And so what is he like as a stallion? I mean, as we said, he's physically a real sort of a bull. He has all that lovely power and presence, but he is a real speed horse, isn't he?
He's a lot like Exceed and Excel himself. I think he'll throw that into his stock, those early running looking horses. People that come and see him will be very impressed when he walks out of the box.
And we know Exceed and Excel, his sire sons, you know, including Sidestep, Headwater. Exceedance is on the cusp of being a really top stallion. And then, of course, Bivouac, Cylinder, Microphone, you know, just as young sires starting out. And so you can see this sire line is bound to have a huge influence on the breed.
Definitely, and he's probably the cheapest son of Exceed and Excel at stud. He's definitely a really good play for breeders at that level.
And the dam side, of course, Susannah, a South African Horse of the Year, is his half-sister. And it's such a strong dam line, which is so important, isn't it?
There's group winners right down the page, and as we've seen from a lot of these very successful colonial stallions in Australia, they always have that strong dam line. He's a big, strong horse, and I think he'll suit those mares that maybe you want to put more leg under them and a bit more size and substance. That'll suit him really well.
And Joe Stampy, his owner, I mean, he loves this horse. And you can see, you know, when you have a horse that races at that level for so long, it's a real passion for him, this horse succeeding at stud.
Yeah, Joe's a very, very passionate man, and like you said, he loves the horse. He's sent every mare he owns to him. So he's got a real belief in this horse that he's going to make it at stud. We can't wait for the spring to unfold, Caroline. Werner and myself and the team, there's a lot to look forward to. We're going to have horses racing in silks and foals hitting the ground, and obviously a number of mares we've purchased will be having their first babies as well, so there's a lot to look forward to.